Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You know, watch my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. This is part of the Sunday afternoon group called Intercontinental Group of Awesome because we're on a couple of different continents separated by a giant ocean. But we line up our time zones on Sundays afternoons for those of us in the US and evenings for our European friends, and we play games together. This is the third session of Spire: The City Must Fall, which is a very cool game by Rowan Rook and Deckard, and you should totally check it out. It is the story of a subjugated drow, like a subjugated city where a city where the drow are subjugated by the light elves, and the player characters are all drow who are part of a resistance. It's dark, and we've actually got a few lines where it's not quite as dark as the default, but it's still pretty dark of what we're doing. And the best part is I'm not running it. That's right, Tyler has stepped up, and he is our GM. So please let me hand the reins over to you, Tyler.
Well, thank you. Hi there, I'm Tyler, he, him pronouns, and indeed we are playing Spire. And we have gotten into a couple of sessions here, and we are investigating. We're on a mission into the Infinite Library, where we're attempting to find a scholar by the name of Cirrus Duvall, who, from what we've been told, has discovered a religious text, has researched into a line of religious study showing a progenitor type god that predates the solar pantheon, predates even the glorious mother of the drow, and is even showing beyond what was known to the elves collectively. And the ministry is concerned that this sort of knowledge could cause upheaval. The high elves, we have been kind of informed, may also find this something that they could use or disruptive. And our heroes are sent by the ministry to go forth and get this information, find this scholar, so that it can be assessed and decided how best it can help the drow. And as our group went in, there was a clever plan, a cunning plan indeed, to get entrance into the library. And traveling through, they encountered Blaze, a mercenary, human mercenary, and she is on the look for Professor Duvall as well. And we got an idea that she probably doesn't have kind intentions there. Seems to have been sent by hired by a high elf academic by the name of Softly Burns the Ice, an extremely powerful Alfir. So there's a little race, someone out there kind of trying to find Duvall as well. And when we had ended last time, our heroes had stumbled into a room, the Ribbon Mandala, where they had encountered a word elemental, which was really fucking tough. Um, and after a considerable struggle, though, it was disrupted and put away. And Aramitz, our healer, our priest, our Lashon, had brought up a healing circle. But as the healing circle came up, our Night Swordin had stepped in, and with adrenaline having drained away, thump, fell unconscious. So, just as I mentioned, we have some safety tools on the table. We have the X card, which I think everyone here is aware of, its use. And we also have lines and veils. In our particular story, while we've done some just at the beginning discussion to excise some things for our lines and veils, we also have a line on sexual assault and cannibalism. And we have a veil on harm to children, lines being things we just aren't going to have in the story, and veils being something that while we while it can be in the story, it's not going to be a focus. It's going to be a fade to black, something we're not going to have be a major thing. Anything that we need to add to it, of course, we can feel free. So why don't we go around and hear all of our wonderful characters, and let's go with our character keeper order, starting left to right. Jan, introduce yourself and your character, please.
Hi, my name is John. I use he, him pronouns. And I will be playing Zordon, the knight. So knights in Spire are not what you expect from fancy knights. They are basically just bouncers for bars in the northern docks, and they get their order is just named after the bar that they're working for, and it's a bit different. Before Zordon joined the Knights, he was a duelist for an Elfir during his durance, and got basically kicked out after he lost his first duel. And now he's unconscious from a duel with a word elemental.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Next up in line, Alex, introduce yourself and your character.
Hi, I'm Alex. I use he, him, and I am playing Gerald. He spent his durance as the head servant / spy for the High Elf. And now, I guess, is the run the cell for the ministry. Working against the High Elves, who he sees as just, they just don't see us as people, and they have no empathy and need to be brought down.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And next up, Rich, well, I think we know who you are, but tell us about your character.
You bet. I am playing Aramitz, who is the aforementioned priest, or Lejean, as they are called here in Spire, the city must fall. Aramitz is part of the ministry because it's the right thing to do. He feels called to it, as called as he is to serve the princess, or the Lady of the Moon. He served his durance as a hunter, and that's where he really found his faith. He does his best to serve his flock and feels this is one way he can do so. He might be the worst spy because he's kind of revealed things that they're doing to other drow as they are doing those things. So we'll see how that goes.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And next, Jen, introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hey there, I'm Jen. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing Fonara, who also uses she, her pronouns. Fonara is an Azurite, meaning that she is a tradesperson, a shoppy type, a commercial interest all by herself. And well, she's gotten into this game probably for a multitude of conjoining reasons, but the inciting incident was just seeing the pure wastefulness of the way the High Elves run the commerce of the Spire.
Awesome and eminently practical. We are sadly missing Sabine, so Vazar, I think, will be kind of taking a step back. We'll be present if something we need to call on him for something. We can do that, but we won't really focus too much on Vazar. So I mentioned where we were, but there was one person I hadn't mentioned, which is Creed, who is your kind of guide. You had encountered some of the light shines here in the library, the people that work to keep the library working. And they had sent with them one of their number, a rather odd gentleman named Creed, who didn't talk very much to begin with, but along the way had started spilling out a few things that have made him seem a bit unusual. I think he mentioned something about knowing Duval, her name on a door, the door being within him, that sort of thing. And so we're going to take up with us all inside of this healing circle, waiting for our night to come to, which will be happening momentarily, and maybe having a chance to talk with him and each other about what to do. So, Amaritz, I'm guessing you would have checked in to see how Sword is once he collapsed there, right?
Of course. Yes, that was the reason I was bringing up the healing circle, is to try to rouse him and heal anyone else. We did have quite a rough go at it with this word element.
Checking over him, you could see where the healing circle has begun helping, but there's a pretty tremendous bruise across his chest, probably where that word elemental had kind of slammed him down to the ground. But as the healing circle is doing its magics, thank you, glorious mother, you can kind of see his breathing getting easier, and in fact, his eyes are getting that kind of flutter. Probably pretty soon, he'll at least be conscious again.
Well, it seems that our friend Zordon will be able to survive what we've done so far. I'm happy to share. Gerald, Fanara.
But will he be able to walk out of here
Yes.
without attracting notice?
Well, that's up to us.
I can never make such a guarantee. Yes, I think Fanara has the right of it.
Yeah, I'm pacing.
So you're pacing?
I'm pacing back and forth, yes.
After, now that this word elemental has disappeared, that mandala room has settled back a bit. And it has gone to deathly quiet in here.
I've definitely used the intervening time to have a packet loaded into my pistol, because
Are we going to talk about your new friend?
Ah, sorry.
Creed?
It was hectic. Yes, Creed, our new friend. Gerald, please meet Creed. Creed has helped us find our way in the library, and interesting individual.
We are friends?
Yes, Gerald is a close friend of ours.
Greetings, Gerald.
Greetings, Creed. I hope we could be friends as well.
Friends don't keep secrets.
They don't. I glance to the other two.
Creed, speaking of secrets, I know that you don't hold one from us, but I lack the understanding of what you meant when you said that you were talking about a door to Professor Duval. That you, if I recall correctly, you mentioned something about you being the door. Is that correct, or did I mishear?
That is true. It is my first memory.
Do you appear this way to us, but appear in another way to others?
I I do not know. I was I was not always as I am now.
Hmm.
I was called.
Ah. Well, we all have a calling. Each to our own specific purpose.
While you're talking, I think take out a little like test tube sized flask, unscrew it, and just like wave it underneath Zordin's nose. A
Sort
little whiff of alcohol spirits.
you come to yourself. You are bruised, but not in nearly the pain you were when last you were awake.
I'm focusing on the conversation, but I just keep my hand there with the little vial. Yeah.
Reach.
Yeah, I'd let you take it and just nod, listening to the conversation.
There's like a ow. But not as much ow as I've thought. Why not? Pyramids?
Zordon. Thank you, Gerald. It's good to have you back, friend.
Well, the thing was a tough fight, but it would have been much easier if I had my armor and my sword. Just say.
I'm sure that you would have vanquished it easily with such tools.
I think next time we'll make some allowances to the plans.
Different missions have different requirements, but I'm glad to see that you're safe and ready to get up and kicking once more.
Well, I don't know. I could still go for a drink, but I'm not going to find any in the library. So.
Drinks after.
See an odd, fairly small drow looking at you curiously. Are we friends?
What's this?
Zordon, this is Creed.
He's our new friend.
Let
Hello,
us.
Creed. Sure, we can be friends, I guess. If they say that you're a friend.
Hello, Zordon.
Creed, how do you feel about beer?
I have never had beer.
We need to rectify this, and then we'll see if we can be friends.
He smiles. Do you offer him a drink?
I mean, I don't.
You don't have any with you? All right.
I mean, you have a little vial, but you may have drank that.
Yeah, that's gone.
I'll take the test tube back and just.
Yeah, that was medicinal.
Yeah. That's not beer. It's not worth putting beer in a tiny little vial. Zordon has a particular relationship to beer.
He says, you fought the word elemental.
Yes.
That was impressive. My cousins are not easily defeated.
Wait, cousins? Tell me about your family tree.
He looks at you, Aramis, at you, Fanara, and friends don't keep secrets from friends.
Don't worry. Yes, you can trust Zordon.
As it was a word, I am a secret.
You are a secret? What is he talking about?
Magic stuff. Remember the magic library words and how they come to life and things?
Is he a secret elemental then? I don't know what is this.
A secret elemental. That is an exciting concept.
This could be, maybe if y'all would like to have someone lead in our work together on. This might be an investigate academia or a cult.
Without Vizar, we don't have very
Either of those.
Either of those.
A nice compel.
Well, to be honest, you probably could try to pull more information out with a compel.
That is a fascinating taxonomy, Creed. Huh. Living secrets. Hopefully your other cousins aren't as cantankerous as that word elemental.
They should be avoided.
I see. I shall endeavor my best.
This place, it generates them. And they are not like me. They grow older and stronger. I have but my one secret.
Clearly, it's a doozy of a secret.
If other secrets were given to you, Creed, would that help you?
I would change. Yes, that would mean I grow.
Is that something you would like?
It's hard to say. Once my secret is told, then I will be no more.
So you need a second secret. So you still have one.
Oh, to keep you going after you tell the other one.
I had not thought of this, but yes, that
That's
with
great.
a secret untold, I would continue.
Well, I certainly would like for that to happen.
I lean down to Creed and whisper in his ear.
How about this? You can, if you wish, this is up to you. You can not tell us what you whisper in his ear.
Mm-hmm.
His eyes sort of widen and he smiles. Friends tell friends secrets. And he leans up to your ear and he says, I was given the secret of Professor Duvall's office. She cannot go in unless she knows that secret. And he kind of smiles shyly.
Aha. What an interesting conundrum. A hidden embodied secret for a room. Magic is so abstract.
Right. Yeah, I go to the door and like peek out, and just like nervously check the hallway.
As of right now, the hall seems clear.
Mm. Sonora,
Gerald.
do we have some actionable intel?
So Tyler, just a little out of character time, help me understand. Creed's got the secret of the office.
Of the office. So it's nowhere Duvall can find unless she found him and knew the secret. So you figure if you had Duvall and Creed together, it would open the office.
Yeah.
And that would have ended Creed because the secret would have been told. But no more.
But no more. All right. Well then, it seems that we need to find Ceres and unite them and have her express this secret. So,
And does our friend Creed know where she is?
I'm not sure that he does.
Creed?
I do not know where she is other than, and he kind of points out somewhere that way. I feel some pull or the knowledge of how to avoid.
Now maybe Creed would like to join us for a little stroll.
I was asked to guide you. You're my friends.
Thank you.
We
Creed.
are.
Well, let's carry on and leave this place before anything else ebulliently violent comes and finds us.
Follow me. I will try to lead you.
Thank you.
And so you begin heading out back through the hallways. Again, we have that sort of passing of rooms. Sometimes you'll enter into chambers where the stacks reach high up. Sometimes you're in much smaller little hallways, very intimate, with the bookshelves along the sides. But all around you is that smell of books. And occasionally you'll hear, kind of in the distance, you'll hear a sound of footfalls, or you'll hear a rustling. But Creed seems to be leading fairly directly and doesn't get distracted by most of these until you reach around one of these round chambers. And he kind of comes to a halt. There are 3 passages going off of it. And he says, she is, and he points to 2 of the passages. She can be found down either of these. But one of them, there is another, the one that we met, that is searching for her. She is between us down this one.
Wait, the human?
Yes.
We met a human earlier looking for a friend.
Yes, so did we.
Oh,
Most
She
unpleasant.
won't be happy to see us. She was not bought in by my charms. And then chased us around the library, threatening to kill us. So,
oh. We didn't get there. We just sized each other up.
Yes. He was very unconvincing of the author.
She was not a friend.
No. Well,
Do
This
not share
other
secrets with
way,
enemies.
this other way will get there, but it is longer, and it goes through the maskographies.
Would we know what that is?
Gerald, you might have heard of this. Are you by chance a devotee of the masked god, or do you have thoughts of the masked god?
I don't think I'm like a devotee, but I think it's somebody who I would like before bed or before I go off on a mission would do a small kind of prayer or ritual or something, you know. Kind of like the, you know, like leaving, doing like a little just, you know, gesture and a nod to my head to some sort of statue or something.
The maskographies are something you've heard whispered about amongst others that follow the masked god. It is said to be an entire collection held by a scholar who wanted to keep up with those masks of people who have passed or people who are no more, so that their stories would be lost. Some say that devotees should go and even make a pilgrimage there, that they could hear the masked god if they ever went there. But there's also darker rumors that this scholar didn't always wait for people to pass before he took their masks or the faces behind, or that so many masks together under the eye of the god take lives of their own.
Was he clear which path would be that one?
As in which scholar? The scholar was he?
No, which of the
paths?
two,
It is
yeah.
it is the longer one without blaze on it.
I just do like a like it's of no interest to me. Well, I would prefer not to meet this blaze again if I can help it.
well, if we take the long way around, Blaze might meet our target before we do.
I mean, I'm willing to.
We can deal with the human.
Yes.
Creed, would you be aware of any place here within the library that might have a large sword of some kind? In case we run into Blaze again, Zordon would be helpful.
Well, she's armed. Yeah.
A suit of armor also wouldn't be the worst thing.
Oh, you guys, you care.
You get me. You really.
There are places where they hold swords of renown, or swords that are examples of technologies that are different or unique styles of them. And there are
Once in a
armors.
library? Why didn't nobody ever tell me this?
The library is to hold all knowledge. I can take you to one, yes.
Where's the wing about brewing?
Oh, well, it is some distance, but there's still.
Jordan. Jordan.
Cheryl.
Everything has a time and a place.
Look,
You can get a sword.
he,
Very well, friends. I will take you. And he turns towards the longer route and begins heading down it.
I give a little nod to Panora, hermits, and I follow Creed.
Very well. It's hard to say no when Sorden's been injured already.
You travel down a hallway that at first is, again, one of these fairly narrow with the bookcases to either side. But then opens up to where it's, a good 15, 20 feet across. And you see that we have more of book nook type areas, little alcoves where they have books on shelves that kind of wrap around. And these seem to be, and you can see like there's plates, different types of knowledge that is held within them. And you travel for 10, 15 minutes before you do reach an entry to one of the slightly deeper of these alcoves. And you can see that the plate above it states innovations in the bladed arts. And Creed says, kind of motions. And as you look in at the back of it, we have all the books on the shelves to either side, but the back has 4 swords hung in sheaths along the wall. 2 of them are quite large, straight blades, claymore-sized blades. One of them is a beautifully delicate-looking cavalry saber, and the other seems to be more of a scimitar. And you can see with that scimitar that it's definitely older. The scabbard is cracked. Probably Aramitch, you would be the one who could recognize, because there isn't much of it around anymore, of the Drow language itself. Oh, I guess, Fanara, you would recognize it from the home country. But the language, old Drow language written on it.
Oh. This is of Drow origin and ancient. Very nice.
Well,
does that make it good?
you're
I
the expert.
I start inspecting
You
the
tell
weapons.
us. However, I need to remind us all that
Just checking out
items
the
in this library can be borrowed and moved within, but can't be taken out, unless we have some way of defeating any spells on them.
Thank you for the reminder. I'm sure that there could be some temptation to liberate such an artifact.
Well, unfortunately, all I can do is, and I take an etching of the Drow writing on the scimitar and or scabbard. If there's a cool pattern on the scabbard, I take an etching of that.
Excellent. Keeping a hold of it.
But luckily, we all are of strong enough willpower to leave these when we
When
have
we're
to
done
go.
with them, of course.
Sure. Checking out the balance and all the weapons, and like, ooh.
By far and away, when you pull out that scimitar, it is gorgeous. It has this sort of almost like purpley light that goes along the blade as you kind of shine it, move it back and forth, and it is perfectly balanced.
So it's really like, ooh, I'd like to check this one out.
The claymore, one of the claymores, is kind of unique and different in that its balance seems very heavy towards the hilt when you pick it up, but as you're kind of moving it, that weight transfers down towards the tip as you lower the tip down, and you get the impression there's something in it that transfers that weight from hilt to tip, say as you swing it.
This one hits extra hard.
I mean,
The other two are nice.
it's quite large, so not sure I understand, but not sure I don't understand either.
I mean, I could, take all of them, but maybe some of you want some weapons too?
Well, fair enough.
I mean, I like the purple scimitar. It's really, really nice. But if no one else is proficient with like a broadsword, but don't mind that one either.
I'll make do with the scimitar, I suppose.
I have my dagger. It's special to me, but thank you.
I prefer not to carry weapons.
Smart.
All right.
I avoid putting my hand anywhere near the hidden dagger that I have on my person.
I avoid having weapons on my person that you could see.
All right, and Sorden, you take the
I'll take the heavy hitter.
the mercury cord claymore.
Dirty.
Yeah. Fanara, to keep in mind, this is you have a D6 sword there, but as it's sort of a little bit extra bit that it has to it, it will negate one difficulty die. And Sorden, that's a claymore that you have. If you can get to where you can give it a full swing, and keep in mind, it is like a 6-foot sword. But it does let's see, your normal big sword does D8. This will do a D10.
Ooh. I'm guessing it's still tiring.
It is still tiring. And if you can't get the full big swing on it, it still does a D8.
Oh, well.
Which is pretty good.
Yes.
And so armed, Creed will begin leading you along, heading down, and you've traveled again. Time gets kind of weird. It's not like you're really having time dilation, but you're seeing just the same sort of, we went by another passage, we went by another thing. So time has that weirdness of it's not, you don't feel certain how long it's taken. But ahead, you begin to, you see there's a larger room opening off to the side. And it is, in fact, an annex. So as you come to the door, you could see that this opens up into a full room. The hallway continues on. But within it, looking in, you could see there are mage lights, which you're used to in the lower corridors and even in most of Spire. There are mage lights all over. And there's pretty much mage lights keeping this place lit, though it has a more ambient feel to how they're lighting these corridors. Inside of there, they're very much the almost like flames, kind of purple in color. Creed will walk by it for the most part. He will look back and say, beware, that is the mascography annex. It can be dangerous.
Yes.
I tug on Gerald's sleeve.
Yes. We have willpower, don't we?
As you walk by, showing your willpower, you hear a voice whisper to you, Gerald. Little one, do you not seek by wisdom? Is there not something you wish for me to help you hide?
I kind of just a very, very quick just glance to the others around me, like any reaction.
Nope.
They didn't hear that.
Do not seem to have. Looking back kind of through the door, despite the fact that those lights are all, it doesn't seem that they've dimmed. At the back, there is a case that seems much brighter under a purple light. And you see an onyx mask inside of it.
I think I would play it just. I've been walking past. We're not going there. And then with my, I think I have like double. Well, I didn't have double sneak. I have one. But I think I would attempt to disappear into the shadows. Like, so I'm just like, oh, where's Gerald gone? Suddenly.
As you dip back through, I think you worked your way kind of, you were at the rear, so it'll take a moment maybe for folks to notice. As you step in, you can now see that lining the walls here are many cases with many, many masks. You can see that there are also books and book stands. What would you like to keep hidden, Gerald?
Is it okay if we bio break now?
Yeah, let's bio break.
Mull over.
That's a good thought.
Good
Why
time.
Yeah.
Why don't we take 10? All right, we're back. So, Gerald, as this voice speaks to you, and I take it you've stepped further into the room.
Kind of like along the edges. I guess there's like maybe pillars on the side, kind of like I'm still kind of moving what shadows there are.
As you kind of move by the cases, keeping back, you could hear from the cases, I could make you a rich man. Another, you would be loved, desired. As these masks seem to be speaking to you from their cases.
I kind of like wave them away, like death fear to them. But I do move towards that mask at the end.
What can I give you, Gerald?
You say I can hide things.
That is what I do. And as you step up closer to the mask, do you step to the front of the case?
Yes.
You can see that behind the mask and is this almost, it's this obsidian, almost like a mirror. It's shiny in its own way. But the mask has that light on it. But as you step up and you can kind of see your reflection beyond the mask in the mirrored surface of that onyx plate, there's a figure standing behind you, a drow, his face in shadows, shadows almost dripping off of him. What would you have me hide, Gerald?
My actions.
I'm sorry, what was it?
My actions. What I did. What got me to this place? What taught me the skills? What I had to do to learn these skills.
I can help you hide this. But you must help me.
What's your price?
In the Hanging Gardens, there was one executed. In his pocket was a key. It opens a door, inside of which is something I need. He was called the Black Hand. Take the mask, Gerald, and I will hide your sins.
I take the mask.
There's kind of a murmur from the masks around you as then they grow silent. Good. Good. You should look to me more, Gerald. I find you most interesting. And in the mirror, it's that figure sort of slides back, looking down, kind of, you see, maybe it was just your own shadow.
I do the little gesture, like, sign of the cross type thing for this god. I usually do before I go on espionage mission, and then I try and dart from the room,
Excellent.
meet back up with them.
You can put down into your equipment if you'd like. You have the Onyx mask. When you're wearing it, it gives you +1 to your shadow resistance. That's an equipment bonus if that's important.
The Onyx mask.
Yes. And I think that, yes, you were saying?
I was going to say I would try and like meet up with them again quickly as I can, with playing it off like, oh, I took the wrong turn. Not all of us as long strides as you.
I think, Fanara, that you would have noticed him catching back up.
I think I mean, I would have been running, but once I got near enough, I would have tried to like slow my heart, take a breath, and then be like, oh, I was just behind. But I'm sure that's signs.
You have a bit of a glow there, Gerald.
Well,
Dare I say a little color to your cheeks? What's going on?
I had to run back. I took the last turn, and you weren't there. But I've caught up with you now, so dangerous place this.
That's the truth.
We shouldn't stray too far from each other. No.
That's also the truth.
Up near the front, Amaritz and Zordon, you are keeping close to Creed, who has moved around a corner. She is close. I can sense her ahead. You're muted.
Wait, which one?
Duval.
Oh, okay. Good.
Fanara, the secret that you gave to Creed, you're sure that will not be shared?
I don't think Creed will ever have a reason.
Good. I wonder if we should share more secrets just to ensure that Creed continues to exist.
Well, I, for one, trust Venara.
As do I, but situations happen. Secrets are often discovered.
Mm.
I propose we each share another secret with Creed.
Sure.
One that you would not want shared. One that you would entrust to your friend to help him. And then to set the example, I will move forward and kind of put my hands on Creed's shoulder and lean in and whisper a secret about me.
Can keep that secret. You could tell me, or you can keep it. You could tell everyone if you wanted, but whichever you choose.
I think I'll privately message it to you later.
Alrighty. And he smiles as you part and says, "Friends keep friends' secrets."
Thank you.
Sorted, do you give him a secret?
Sordin leans in, whispers something, and then, like, as he pulls back, he's like, "And if I find it missing, we are no longer friends."
I will keep your secret, friend. Cheryl?
I think after like a bit of an awkward pause, Joe leans in. I think he quick glance, like make sure no one is near enough.
Soren will like literally just plug his ears, like.
And I also like angle myself so even my lips can't be like red or. I have the blood of 5 drow on my hands.
As you step back, he doesn't smile, but there's a kind look. Friends
Well,
keep friends' secrets.
friends do. You said she's this way?
Yes, I think she's coming. And he begins walking. And you do, in fact, see a figure come out of a doorway down the hall as you come around the corner. She is a very small drow woman, kind of unkempt, like her hair looks pretty wild. She's got a pack in her clothes, but they're just like, she's not dirty, just messy. And she looks down in your direction, and you could, even from this distance, see she's a little worried or scared to see you. And if you had to guess, she might try to bolt away.
Gordon?
What?
Hold on. We're not with Blaze or the authorities.
I'm just a scholar. No need for trouble. And she is giving a look over Sorden and the sword that he carries. It's pretty noticeable.
Yeah, and Soren is just like holding his hands up, like, oh, it's not for you. Don't worry.
Oh,
There's a human.
Or anyone in.
Well, there is a human looking for you. And just in case she comes along again, that's why I got this one.
looking for me? I'm just a scholar. My name is
Professor Duvall. Correct?
Yes.
I am Aramitz. We've been seeking
Sorden.
you.
Oh, you have.
Oh, yes.
Why?
We're hoping you can tell us, actually.
Yes.
I'm honestly, I'm a bit lost. I have been
You're
trying.
looking for your office?
Did you find anything cool in your research lately? Because that's why we might be here.
How could you know that?
We have friends in places.
Yes.
Well, yes. Somehow my office was misplaced.
Oh, that's not going to be a problem. We have your friend here.
I believe we can reunite you two.
Really? And she kind of looks at Creed, and as she looks at him, the two of them almost have a, like involuntary kind of step towards each other. And Creed says, I have your secret.
Or is, as the case may be.
I find it hard to believe that you've simply come to help me find my office.
Well, no, we came to fully to find what's in there. Not to, we just, someone else do this.
Thank you, Sorkin. Thank you very much. We aren't
Excellent.
simply here to help you find your office. Oh, Gerald, would you like perhaps
Well,
a quick game of point ears, flat ears, rock?
of course.
All right. 1, 2, bluff. But out of character, seriously. Do you believe this, or should I?
Well, I got to have fun times in Scary Maskland, so.
Okay.
She looks at you, Fanara. You
see-
are a merchant, an Azurite.
Well spotted.
The blue. She smiles.
That's what it's there for. So, I, at the very least, am curious about any distribution of your ideas. Whether they are worth distribution. I know that normally this is an academic question. But ideas sell people on things, just as selling somebody something sometimes gives them ideas.
My research, I will admit, well, when I began mentioning what I had been studying, some people became very inquisitive. I got a little worried that maybe research needs to be spread. When you discover something, it should be told.
Sometimes what you need to do instead is keep a secret.
But this could change everything. We were all one people once. Despite what the Elfish say, they did not curse us.
It does my pride good to hear that, but
Wait, but then what happens?
tell us, yes.
We all once were one people. Our Drow people, the Alfir, we all had our places. And there was one great god who watched over us all.
Glorious lady?
Even before, this was a mother to all of the gods, all of our gods at the very least.
Definitely glancing slightly towards Aramitz to see.
Aramitz looks pensive and somewhat skeptical, but listening, has not discarded it offhand.
But the Elfir, they were impious.
Hmm.
They began worshiping the children of this first god. That was the solar pantheon. And through their beliefs, my research shows they killed the mother goddess, the solar pantheon.
Oh.
Wait,
Fascinating.
Elfir did?
No, the solar deities. Through the belief practices of the Aelfir is what I'm understanding.
Yes, they turned away from the first goddess.
Hmm.
And while I have not reached the conclusions of my studies, it is possible that is what caused the great cataclysm.
Out of character timeout. Great cataclysm. Do I know what that is?
That is where the world became all blighty, destroyy. That is supposedly, there was a wonderful world before. We have the remnant. The Spire is a remnant of.
Is that why there's like an apocalyptic city around the Spire?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Back in character. That would make sense, yes. That would be a believable reason for that.
My belief, at least what my research points to, is if we could once more find the first goddess, maybe we could begin healing the world.
And you think
Wait, but
that they would allow that?
Allow it. It's the truth.
Now,
Sorry, I actually started like snorting. Like,
hold on. Ceres, you said it yourself. They turned their backs on the first goddess. What makes you think that they won't turn their backs on truth for their own profit?
Well,
Because it's truth.
well, exactly. Once knowledge is
Share a
found,
little bit.
I mean, you can't stop knowledge, and what?
here you can.
You can.
I
That's
would
the whole
agree
thing about
that you
secrets. That this and then points at
can't stop knowledge, but it can be delayed by murdering anyone who has the knowledge you don't want out.
Murder?
well,
We did
or,
mention the lady, didn't we?
or just secrets, and it points at like Creed. Like, look, secrets is good enough way to not make sure that truth comes out.
Why would they? Surely they wouldn't just murder me.
If it benefited their interests or
amused them.
or
I was just
amused
gonna say, yes.
prevented damage to their interests, they absolutely would.
Oh my.
No life or truth or knowledge is precious in the face of their dimming glory.
Speaking of which, we should probably find your office. That might be a safer place to talk. Because, the human lady.
Yes. You say you have it, or you know where it is?
The two of you together know where it is. Like,
Why don't you tell Creed where it is?
And Creed kind of steps forward. Yes. Tell me of your office. What does your door look like? It was dark wood. It had glass pane with my name written on it. And as she says that, the wall beside you, you see a door begin to form of dark wood. And as you watch, the pane of glass forms in it and writing begins coming across it. Professor Ceres Duval. She goes, yes, that's it. And he says, and what was beyond? Well, it had my desk and my files. And as she says that, there's a click. The door opens. And inside, you see an office. Very messy, cluttered office. Tons of paper everywhere. Maps and graphs and all sorts of things. And her eyes went, yes, that's it. And she rushes forward and heads in.
And Duval is still cool.
Or Creed?
Sorry, Creed, yes.
You see as the door opens, like his face sort of changes, his demeanor sort of changes. Looking at him, there's a little bit of each of you in the look he has. Like a bit of Gerald's stance. And his eyes have some of the kindness of Aramis. His back is straight and he looks stronger, like Sordin. And there's the kind of wry smile of Fenara. The look of calculating. Friends keep friends' secrets, he says.
I pat him on the shoulder. We do. Speaking of which, here. And I hand him my pistol. Do you know how to use this?
Yes, I believe so.
And I produce the remaining ammunition and powder that I've got. Very well. Be prudent in your use of this, but I shouldn't have it when I leave.
I will. And it may be best if I stay here. But no, friends. If you have need of me, you can find me.
Excellent.
And I can find you. And indeed, you feel a strange sort of like an attraction. Not, it's not like, oh, there they are, but it's that sort of he's there feel.
Like we could sense his presence without having to look at him.
Right. Inside, Duval is busily grabbing papers. You can hear them being put together. She is a whirlwind in there, and you hear her muttering, oh, they would try to, oh, I have to have this. They wouldn't do, oh my, well, this is extremely important here.
Time is of the essence.
As you look in, that she's putting together like a valise that she's putting papers into. You also see that she has a trunk that's opened and she's stuffing files and books into it.
Items are often marked here in the library. Are you the items that you are now packing, Professor? Do you believe that they can be pulled out of the library without problems.
They should be. These are all of my own. Well, she'll take a book out of the. Well, I did borrow this.
Perhaps only your original work should come.
Yes, I suppose you're right.
And
yes.
your own notes.
Well, absolutely, my notes. Oh, and and then she kind of stops, looks back. But where shall I go?
I can offer you a place to stay, and I'm sure we can all help you. That's why we've come.
We know certain people who may be able to spirit you away.
Well, I probably shouldn't, but I have to trust you at this point. At least, well, at least we are all of one kind.
Well, if your research is right, we are all of one kind.
Yes. And she starts putting these things into the trunk. And has anyone gone inside the office?
Yeah.
Do not step across
You
the
are-
door.
Yeah, I think I would too.
You're in, Sorden? You went
Jordan
in?
definitely doesn't care.
right.
So he's just like,
It's
well,
just a room now.
yeah.
So Gerald,
I'm-
you're the one you're standing outside?
Yes, I'm glancing to either end of the corridor or passing way outside and just not quite crossing over into the room.
All right, then.
Yeah.
So, Gerald, let's see here. I think we're probably looking at sneak
Yeah,
or resist.
I mean,
And
I have both ticked, but I feel I'm more of a sneaky fellow.
well, so I would like we're going to see if you notice someone sneaking towards you before they get there.
Okay. So one dice for just it beat the task. One for
The
Sneak.
sneak, and I don't think your domains are hitting you here.
no, it's not high society. Are they part of order?
It's Blaze, so she's a mercenary.
So no.
No.
Yeah, I'm more low society, I guess. I don't think I've got anything else. Nope. So 2 dice.
All right.
Let's see if there's any. Yep, 2 dice. I will. And they are the correct dice. I got 10 and a 9.
Then
Just in case.
very nice. I think that even before she has a chance to start the sneaking up, you see Blaze kind of step around the corner, look towards you,
Can I?
and your eyes lock.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, she's going to see y'all, but
Mhm.
she didn't get a chance to see you step back, get her pistol out, and shoot you.
Yeah. Yeah, I very momentarily glance at the open door, step in, and Zordon.
Yeah.
Your new toy might be needed. And I kind of moving into cover.
Okay.
And I
Like, look at the door. Like, Something coming? I'll probably move towards
Please draw
the
your
door.
weapon and defend
right.
us.
But as you kind of stick your head out, you see Blaze stomping down that direction towards you. She's got a pistol in one hand, and she has her sword out in the other. She's about 50 feet about 50 feet away when you see her, and she sees you look out, and when you do, she smiles.
I smile back. And then stick my head back in because the fact that she has a pistol, I don't want to get shot.
All right. Are you waiting for her to get to the doorway, or
Yep.
are you?
I'm just gonna stand there, like I'll sort of rest on the hilt of the swords and just stand in front of the door.
Okay. Then a moment or two later, on the opposite side of the hall, you see her step into view, and she's got the pistol pointed, and she says, "Surrender the scholar, and you don't have to die, big guy."
No, not gonna happen.
She's going to try and shoot you. So roll resist.
Right.
Plus, this would be either high or low society for dealing with her is appropriate, or crime, honestly.
Gives. I mean, I don't have resist, so it'll just be a low society. So 2 dice. Come on.
3 dice, right?
Huh? Why 3?
Because you have all 3 of the domains that I just mentioned.
Okay, but I thought your one is just.
Oh, you don't have resist. Oh, I'm
No.
sorry. You're right. Oh, okay. Go right ahead then. Yes.
It's an 8.
Excellent. She will fire, but tell me how it misses you. How do you avoid getting shot?
I probably I'm sort of like I'm leaning on the sword, and as she slightly raised the gun to fire it, I sort of let myself fall with the momentum of the blade and just sort of go low and just duck under the shot and go in for an attack afterwards.
Beautiful. All right then. She fires. Damn! Throws it to the side and drops into a fighting position, waiting for your charge. So we will let you go first to deal with her since you're there in position, and then we'll have others act afterwards. She has a difficulty of 1.
All right.
That means you need 2 successes to get a hit.
Means right? I got 1 fewer die, I think.
One fewer die.
That's right. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And keep in mind, if folks want to deal with this in a coordinated way, now it might be sort of that you figure, hey, you want to use your knack, and you could tell, because we're getting into a fight here, you could say, no, I got it, and then you could get your extra die for duel.
I mean, I think that at least for my first attack, Sordin is going to go well, I'm doing this fight with her, and afterwards someone else might step in, but I think for the first roll I might still get my dueling.
Okay, I like that idea then. So you're pretty much heading in saying I got it sort of thing. All right, so fight or base, fight, duel, and
low society.
Yes.
Right.
-1.
Yes. So only 3 instead of 4 dice.
Correct.
That's 10.
Well, you got 110?
Yes.
Okay. So that's an excellent hit. Roll your damage.
Gladly. It's also a D10, so. Aw. Aw. It's a 2.
You will smack at her, bringing your blade whistling down as she makes an attempt to catch it with her blade. And now that you see she's, trying to parry, you'll note that she's dropped a dagger to her offhand and would be trying to stab you with it, but the force of your strike hammers that blade and throws her off to where she can't get that strike back at you. You hit her, and it bounces, pushes back her sword and smacks down onto the leather armor she has, and you have now eliminated her armor. And she staggers back. Well hit, but it will do you no good. I am more than capable of taking on an amateur thug. So, Fenara, you see and hear this going on outside. What are you doing? And of course, Duvall goes, ah!
Calm yourself. Despite the taunts being played back and forth, Zordon is an accomplished duelist.
Yes, he only lost one.
Let's prioritize here. Get things into a roll. Make sure that we can actually carry out what needs to be carried out. And I think despite the melee going on outside, what I want to do is see if I can't use commerce to pack together the high priority items with the professor.
Absolutely.
To cart some shit out.
Let's see. Looking at skills, I don't see. Well, you're trying to. It sounds like you're trying to convince her to grab the stuff as quickly as possible. So, how about a compel plus your commerce? I think your speedy delivery hits on this.
Yeah.
So, looking at 4 dice.
Thanks, I hate it.
Oof.
Does anybody want to help?
Could use a help. Somebody wants.
Yes, yes, it would be wise if we make ourselves scarce while Zordon buys us time. He will likely be successful, but on the off chance that Blaze cheats.
So roll one more die.
It is not in the cards.
Okay.
So
All
my
right.
highest was a 6. I suck.
No, it's success.
Success at a cost.
You will really what you're trying to do right now is to get her to focus in enough to grab what's important, not miss anything, and get it to where y'all can go. So I think you succeeded, you will succeed at that, but I think it's going to do 1 point of damage to, this seems like reputation.
Okay.
Because basically it's her belief and faith in you in this.
Yeah. It's hard to have a lot of faith in me when I'm badgering her.
Right. But she manages to grab these things and she slams the trunk closed. This is the bare minimum.
Very well.
Aramis, you've been over there talking with her, but I think you could probably do something as well if you'd like.
There's a part of me that really wants to look at this research, but it's not the right time. I think I'm after I have that conversation, I'll probably slide near the door and Zordon just in case Blaze happens to come into the room. If Zordon looks like he's taking an attack, I'm just kind of lying in wait with my dagger and my not very good at fighting, but I'll still go down trying to help defend my friend if he needs
Okay.
it.
So you're setting up and ready should something go wrong. All right. Okay. Then Gerald, what are you doing?
As she's like, the scholar is like kind of panicking and complaining, I kind of like take her by the chin, just like look at her, like, well, the lady outside might not be the only one who's looking for you. And then I look into my coat to see if I can find one of my masks. And can I use my fix skill
Absolutely.
to kind of basically? Yeah, I was thinking of doing some messing up her hair, adjusting her clothing.
I mean, just comb
And
her
mask.
hair and like fix her buttons.
Yeah.
You think this is fix, or you think this is deceive to make her look like someone different, or look like not herself?
And yes, to deceive. And can I, because I have a knack that's not claimed, can I disguise on the fly?
Yes. I like that. I think that's a pretty cool knack for deceive.
Works well with the masking gimmick too.
Mm-hmm.
So like I choose one of the more feminine of the masks. And
Excellent.
adjust it slightly. I think I've got a few bits and pieces I can like just unhook on the mask and put different things on.
I don't think that you have to worry about stress here, but let's have you roll to see how well the effort is. So you're doing a deceive.
Yeah.
And you're wanting her to fool folks.
I wanted to be able to, people who are looking for her, not to recognize her on our escape.
Let's go with high society, because you're really hiding from the Elfir at this point. And their minions.
So we've got high society, I got that.
Mm-hmm.
We've got deceive.
Mm-hmm. Your
and
base.
I got a knack on that.
And you got your knack.
So was that 4? No.
Yep.
4. Okay. What do I get? I had a 10.
Oh.
10.
With your little bit of work there and getting this mask on her, I mean, it is remarkable how getting someone's hair back in place and kind of straightening up this mishmash of clothes she's wearing, and suddenly she looks like just a good solid scholar, very well put together, not at all the kind of nervous mess you had seen previously.
I'm like still like holding a chin, like turning your head side to side, praising it. It'll do.
Thank you. Sword.
Jordan is, locked in combat, so he's definitely going like. Because what was it? She said something about like, oh, that was a
Handle a thug like you.
I'm like, it was one of your kind that gave me this one. He points at his scarred face. and just with more gusta, just throws in another swipe.
All right. You're still fighting alone. It still feels like a duel.
And boop. That's an 8.
All right. Roll your damage.
Come on. Don't be 2. A 5.
You smack solidly through her guard and catch her across the shoulder, and there's a crunch as she drops the dagger that was in her other hand, and you see surprise in her eyes as she staggers back and hits up against the wall on the other side. You have more skill than I thought.
And I think Zordon is sort of like the blade is sort of like waving in his hand back and forth because of the liquid core. And he's sort of like, well, you want to give up yet?
She drops her sword because she can't take another hit. You know that my employer find this scholar and kill you and your whole little band, right?
Wait, let me get this straight. Are you trying to convince me that I should kill you? Because I'm trying to be merciful here.
Doesn't matter what happens to me now. You won't be able to hide her in Spire.
I mean, I won't, but some of these people will.
What's your name?
My name is Zordon.
The duelist.
Yeah.
She kind of reaches up to her badly hurt shoulder. Well, that at least makes me feel a little better. I saw you fight before. Good.
Apparently I still got some skill.
You
But
let
hey,
me leave here, I'll say I couldn't find
bad
her.
either.
I'll say I couldn't find her if you let me leave here.
Fine by me.
You ever need any work? Look me up. Find jobs for you.
I don't know. We'll see.
She kind of scoots back, and with the back of her heel, she kicks her sword down the hall back behind her and starts backing. See you around, Zordon. And then as she gets to where it is, she kind of stomps her foot down on the hilt and it flips up. She catches it with her good hand.
Okay, there's definitely an appreciative note for that. Like, okay.
Slides it into its scabbard and moves away.
Okay, she's gone.
He's what?
Left.
Zordon defeated her. Handily, actually.
Where is
From my
she
point of view.
then?
Uh,
I'm looking
that
around
way.
on the floor.
She went that away.
Okay.
What?
Are you confident that she'll keep her lips shut?
I think so. And if she doesn't, then
Then it'll be too
Find
late for
her.
us.
I don't know. Got a good feeling about that one.
Really?
Seems to have some honor.
In order to work together, we need to trust one another. I trust Sorden's good feelings.
And I believe we should leave.
Agreed.
Duval will grab her valise and will look at you, Joe. Can you get that? And point at her trunk.
Did you point at me? I take a breath and go and collect the trunk. And then I take up position like behind, like I'm the word I used earlier, and now it's gone.
Porter.
Porter.
Yeah. Okay.
As you come out, Creed, who has been there kind of watching, and you see he's got the pistol and had, he had been in the office with y'all, kind of comes out. He had been prepared in case something had happened. But as he comes out, he says, my friends, this should get you to the antechamber if that's where you wish to go. And he'll push on the bookshelf, and one of it slides to the side to where you have another of those pneumatic tubes.
I mean, Sorden hasn't seen one of these yet, so it's like, what the hell?
Sorden first, I kick him right in the butt.
You go flying down, and
feels good.
Creed will come up to you, Fedara and Aramitz. Take care of yourself, my friends.
Be safe, Creed.
Be safe. Be well.
I will be here if you have need.
Thank you.
Duval will step in and poof. Gerald, you follow?
Yeah.
Poof. And the other two, as you follow in, you're whisked. And you can see the bookshelf close behind you. As you pop out again at the big doors. There is that sort of map. You are here at the exit. I think for our purposes, and with Gerald's work previously, I think you head out the doors and have little trouble. The librarian will look back at you and, did you make your delivery?
We did. However, we did have some rejected goods.
She'll kind of give a look at Duval, but she passes scrutiny. And you make your way through the more front end of the library. Now, question. The weapons that you have, did you try and take them out the door?
Nope.
I think Soren will sort of go like, so he will definitely turn to the rest and go like, so you sure?
Let it go.
Yes.
Drop it.
We're sure.
And then
You
he'll
do not
like
want to insult your sword by bringing in
he
another.
will probably like put it on a shelf on top of a stack of books and like, fine.
And as you're heading out, you just as you reach the door, leaving the light, you're past the big iron doors to the stacks. You're now in the regular reading room with all these people around and everything. as you reach the door to leave it, you hear a voice from across the whole of the library. Bazaar, is that you? Where's my book? I've been waiting for weeks. Where's my book? And Bazaar kind of looks back. Let's go. As you head out the door.
Sordin will sort of be grumbling like, I mean, that was like, it's like the sword from the stone. It's like, can't just.
By the way, do I feel like any kind of tingle of magic, or is there any from the mask in my coat?
Oh
Go through the door.
No magical feel at all. No. It
Sounds
is
safe.
well hidden inside of your clothing there. And so you exit out and have Duval to take back where are we heading to the metaphor with her? Are you taking her somewhere else?
Maybe the metaphor. I feel like I would want to talk with Fanara about solutions to her.
I mean, Aramitz is the one who offered her safe.
Yeah, that's why I'm not talking to him.
Well, sure. All right. Yeah, let's take her to the metaphor and have a couple private conversations. I think that's clearly what's shaping up here.
All right. You quickly get in. Sordin, your friend at the bar, gives a little nod of, hey, buddy. And if he's willing to let you back into the back room with no problem.
Cool.
And so you're all there in privacy. Duval is, she looks a little worried, but she's settling down, and she's kind of opened up her valise and the trunk and basically trying to do an inventory of what she managed to grab. So y'all have a chance to talk quietly amongst yourselves without dealing with her, or you could also bring her in if you need to. Okay. So
Amaritz Zordin, I'm sure she could do with a drink after that.
Take care of the drink, yeah.
And I would take the opportunity to talk to Fanara.
Amaritz, are you leaving her?
Aramitz will take a moment.
I'm not getting them. I'm just getting them away from me and Fanara so I can talk private. That's
what I thought. I give a look. Come, Professor.
Of course, thank you. Yes. I don't think I've eaten in days.
But how about a drink, though?
Oh, do they have a nice red?
I think so. Sort of is not aware of the wine menu here, but it's like.
Yes, they do.
All right, the three of you
I
head
have
out.
to use the restroom real quick. I hate to do it at this time, but here I go. I'll be right
That's
back.
fine. Matter of fact, well, let's go ahead and we'll take a break real quick. Let's do 8 minutes and come back at half after. All right, we're back. So I think as the three of you go out to the bar, let's have Gerald and Fanara have their quiet moment, because I am interested to see what happens once we're out in the bar as well. But I think it's going to be informed a bit by the conversation in the back room first. So, role play.
Well, Gerald, after that display of subtlety, what do you want to talk about?
I do believe the minister was fairly clear in our mission.
We were.
I'm not saying We follow words in all things, but there will be consequences if we don't.
My understanding of the mission was that Dural's fate was up to our discretion.
I felt it lent quite heavily on removing all evidence. I
Well,
felt the minister placed the professor as part of that evidence.
we needed to confirm her knowledge, retrieve her research, and decide if she lives. We've retrieved her research, we've confirmed what she knows, and she didn't have to die in the library.
Or perhaps she did die in the library.
Hmm?
Perhaps she did die in the library.
Perhaps she did.
I don't particularly want her blood on my hands. And for the minister,
She's very intelligent and very innocent-minded, which makes her a very useful but very dangerous person. Yeah, I think if she could be a specific sort of asset to the ministry, that would not be a bad thing or a failure.
and with her own survival on the line, I'm sure she can keep a secret.
I don't know about that.
Are you leaning to?
What I'm saying is she would require management. If she's such an idealist that she thinks that the past can be brought into the present through mere spreading of knowledge, that's a dangerous form of idealism. But if there are other avenues of research that she can be flung into before she gets too wrapped up once again in spreading what she knows about this, perhaps things are fine.
And left amongst our midst wayward souls. They are usually ignored.
Perhaps. I think that Aramitz has the resources and reputation that he needs to hide her for a good long time. Perhaps even build a new identity for her. Let's
I'm
take
sure
that
we
as
can.
understood.
So she lives.
Do you realize as long as she lives, she has the potential to destroy our whole cell? Not even in the context of our dalliances with the ministry.
But I do feel making it disappear might also have the same effect.
Yes. Well, now that we have her,
in our
well, now that we have her in hand, we can also dull the impact of that we have some of her notes and resources. Some of her original sources are probably going to disappear forever. But we can create those look-alike reports and papers.
Muddy the waters.
Mm-hmm.
Speak to Vizier.
Mm-hmm. Distribute that. Discredit what she says by saying what she says before she says it. Which changes the intellectual field. A
And
lie
make-
can run around the world before truth even has its boots on, after all.
And if she's not worth killing, she's not worth killing
Mm-hmm.
by anyone.
Mm-hmm. All right, then. So the main difficulties are to keep her laid low until this plan sees fruit. And to keep her quiet while she lies low.
You get the drink.
Absolutely. Also some food.
Oh. Oh, yes.
Golisset has been, I think, observing in the room, despite the subtle "you should take her out." He has been there silently observing this. And as you kind of have this break, he's given enough distance to, let you have some privacy, but he will come up. Fanara, you are all right.
Oh, yes, yes. There was a bit more excitement in the library than I would have expected or liked, but everything is fine.
I was very concerned.
I appreciate your concern. And I would have liked very much to have had you there.
But yeah, well, that's good to hear, man. I prefer it when I can be present to keep an eye on things.
Yes. That is preferable in all cases.
I'm glad you're back.
It's good to be back. How's the world been?
Quiet. Though the patrons here tend to sing songs.
Good songs?
No, they sing songs about magical formula.
Sounds boring.
It is, man.
Oh well. Every venue is different.
I prefer a nice murder ballad, personally.
Those are good.
Shall I get you something to drink, man?
Oh, please, whatever's on tap.
And so as y'all head outside, Aramis Zorn, you take Duval over. Are you taking a table or heading to the bar?
I would-
Soren-
Yeah, I would go to a table because she needs food.
Fair enough. Like Soren will gravitate towards the bar and like, table is fine too.
And
But he
it
will
does
already get the drinks and
And so as you set down the drinks, one of the bar servers will come over and, would you like stew? We also have bread.
oh, yes.
Sounds excellent.
And we'll bring around bowls of stew, heavy on like the mushrooms and root variety vegetables, and a dark coarse bread that you're all extremely familiar with. And it does bring up a question I saw as I looked at the chat. Would Thursa know that you're here? Would she have come around looking for you?
Like, I don't think I mentioned it to her, but I think she's clever enough to figure it out. She's a smart girl.
Then I think as you sit down with the drinks and as the server moves off, she will kind of almost appear pulling a chair up beside you. Well, what was it like? What did you do? What did you do?
But, well, we went into a library.
You've been in a fight.
How do you know? How does she?
The huge bruises are perhaps a clue.
I prefer he be mystified by my knowledge.
I'm sure he is still.
Did you win? Well, you're here. I guess you did.
Especially just, hey, there was this human lady. Kicked her butt.
You know, I can't learn to fight properly if I'm not beside you in a fight.
Well, you shouldn't have been there for the. What did you call it? A word elemental? It's not pretty.
Words?
Look, basically, okay, you know what? New rule. Tirza, you are not allowed to go into a library without weapons and armor.
That makes sense. Spears and swords may break my bones, but words should never harm me.
Exactly.
And so the food is brought around, drinks are had by all. And I think that Duval is, as everyone's settled in, and I hate to ask, but
Another drink? Coming right up.
thank you. Yes, but if there are people looking for me and my research, where should I go?
As I said in the library, I have a place where you can go to keep you safe. I have a small church out of the way. We will need you to remain quiet about your research. At least for a time.
For now.
Yes. And we may need to find a new name by which to call you. I know you've worked hard for the title of professor, and I will always honor it, but it brings danger to your door, and mine as well, and those of my clergy, of my parishioners, many people.
I understand it. That very unpleasant human. I think she might have been willing to hurt me.
I believe she was contracted to execute you.
Mm-hmm.
How extremely uncouth.
Yes. When it comes to the revelation of ancient gods, some people are a bit violent.
I will never understand the religious, and no offense, of course.
Honestly,
Slight amount taken, but I understand. Your experience has not been pleasant.
And I am happy to do as you request, and just as long as I have the opportunity to get my revelations out eventually.
Yes, I think, to be honest, I believe my goddess led me to you so that I could further understand the infinite wisdom and the truth of our people.
My research does show the glorious mother was the one true child of the first goddess. She never turned upon her.
What about the hidden mistress?
Who? I'm sorry. That's me catching. What? Who?
The hidden mistress, the dark side of the moon.
Oh. You say that, and she says, my studies did not delve into that. Some say that that is it is a forbidden topic if you wish to study in the college.
Oh yes, but you were already doing forbidden topics anyway, so.
What people don't know cannot be forbidden. I learned something new.
All right.
I will say that it is my belief that if people choose to forbid study into something,
Then they're scared of it.
you are very insightful, Sir Knight.
Eh.
So, do we want to have a conversation here? We feel like this seed wraps.
I think I got what I wanted from the scene, so
I'm also good with rapping, but I definitely can keep going if other people have something that they still want to get out of it.
Yeah, she's
I'm pretty satisfied.
yeah. To lay everything on the table, she's very content to go with Aramit's and to kind of follow the directives that have been given in. So, if we don't need anything else, I think we're wrapping this scene.
I think just like as we're kind of like leaving, I think I would lean into Aramit's and be like, as soon as you unsafe grounds, you'll need to burn all the clothes. You cannot be seen in those outside of the college.
I understand sacrifices will need to be made for discretion.
She can keep the mask.
Oh, that's kind of nice. All right, then we take out away from this scene, and I want to know who and or if someone is going to speak with Minister Malakrith. Makarith, sorry.
I think Gerald would be one of as kind of like the unofficial cell leader. I think he would be one of the people. I don't think he would ask anyone else to come with, but he would hope at least somebody else to come with because she's quite scary.
Going as a group or anybody volunteering to go with Gerald?
I think Gerald he doesn't ask and he tries to hide that he's nervous about it, but I think he would. His guards are more down,
Plead with
more
his
down
eyes.
amongst these. Yeah.
Yeah. Be like, you don't have to come with me.
All right. Did sound like going as a group.
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Took the task as a group. We'll return as a group.
Then I think you leave your message at the proper drop spot and receive back your information that to meet with her. She is going to have set a place, the stern of the castle, which I don't know if folks to on our map. I can even share a screen real quick. Oop. Which is on the North Docks, the castle here. This little area right there, the stern of the castle. Back down in y'all's home territory, as it were. And you make your way back there. I'm guessing you've put Duval somewhere safe at this point, Aramis.
Yes.
Okay.
She would be actually probably living in the church for the brief period until I can find a parishioner who I trust to give her another place to stay.
Very good. There where the big river meets the stern, up on the castle itself is there's noise, there is lights, but here at the stern where the river meets, it's dark, and there's kind of this steam that comes up from where the cold of the river hits there at the back. So it's misty in this area. And as you arrive there, wait a moment or two, the mists sort of part, and the minister steps out. Hello. I have heard you were successful.
That's the case.
We kept the information away from the High Elf.
Yes, my informants tell me that the Alfir are most unhappy.
Oh. So sad to hear.
I'd send them a condolence card, but those are expensive.
The discovery of the office in the library, and yet all of Duval's research missing, and the scholar, as far as anyone can tell, gone. They feel quite stymied. Where is the research?
Well, it's in our hands right now. Aramis would know a little better.
Yes.
Yes. We have obtained research, and yes, it appears to be valid.
Valid. You believe she was correct?
I believe the research should be further authenticated, but it is interesting and dangerous.
We will, of course, need that turned over to us.
Of course.
We will then decide how best to use it. And the scholar?
For all intents and purposes, she's off the board for now.
You have her.
Yes.
Yes.
She would be in danger here. We can hide her.
And so can we.
Gerald, you wish to take on this responsibility yourself?
Well, hermits, I believe, perfectly situated to.
He has the skills and we can support him.
When you name, when you look, the location that is ignored.
She's a very focused researcher, and if her focus rested on something useful to us, and by us, I mean the ministry specifically, then that's quite handy. And I think left to her own devices, she would be like a moth flying directly into a lantern flame.
She looks at you, Aramis. You can protect and hide her.
I believe I can. And if that situation changes, then so shall our decisions.
I will have to take this higher. But for now, that seems satisfactory.
When you take it higher, remind them that this woman is extremely gifted. She has found one thing. What if her research finds more secrets that will empower our efforts?
I agree. She is a valuable asset, not to be thrown away.
And
There's some.
and if hard decisions need to be made, you can tell them. We can make those decisions.
She absolutely cannot fall into the Alfear's hands.
Agreed.
We hear you.
There are members of the ministry who have considered smuggling her back to the home nation, that she might study there.
Hmm.
Can I get a read on if she's telling the truth? If that's just her.
You could certainly try. I'm all for you giving that a shot. I think that's a deceive. That would be.
I don't think any of my domains felt.
Yeah, it's crime. It's low society.
Nah, I don't have that. So, two dice.
Anybody wish to help?
I would like to help.
Okay. I think that you could probably give a good read on that. So we'll have the two of you. So that gives you 3 dice, Gerald, but you have a difficulty of 1 on her.
Okay, so down to 2.
Down to 2. And I think we're looking at the stress here would be. I think it's going to be to your shadow.
Is a help kind of just a sudden shared glances?
I think shared glances and likely consultation later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a 1 and a 9.
Oh, well, that 9 sounds like your friend Aramis gave you some help there. Reading her, that's the truth. Now, what might happen to her when she gets there? You would guess from what she's saying, it's that idea that she would research more, maybe. But they have thought about smuggling her out there are those wanting to smuggle her out to the home nation. She's a little concerned of what would happen to her there. And she does follow up by saying that, however, is not my vote. I think that assets we have in Spire should be used to help Spire. If the home nations were that interested in liberation, we would see home nation armies, wouldn't we?
Well, I wouldn't presume.
I have faith that you will keep her safe, Arabins. I have faith in you and in the mother.
Thank you. I feel that this is the right path, and the mother has guided us all towards it.
But if you feel the hounds are coming to your door, bring her to me so that I may hide her. Even darker places are in Spire. I can find her safety.
Thank you for your kind offer of help. I will always remember it.
This was an impressive success, Gerald, for all of you. The ministry appreciates your efforts, as do I.
Excellent.
We live to be of service.
And
Thank you for this opportunity.
she will think, yes. She's going to give assistance out in a way she, kind of as a reward off this. This is me meta-ing it, but she, for you to have, y'all may drop anyone who has damage on shadow may drop that by 1. As she says, we have taken some precautions to hide any involvement you had in this. We will be in touch. And as she says that, the mist, she doesn't move, but the mist just sort of closes in around her. And then she's gone.
Oh, I love when she does that.
So we're at 5:05. I'm thinking that there isn't much time for a big scene. But is there anyone who has something they want to? Is there a cross scene we have, like on an individual level, that anybody feels like they want to do? If not, then I think we're going to wrap up here. Everyone is getting a low advance.
Yay.
You also have the option, because you got through this, to take as your low advance deific exchange. And I'm going to read it out, but I will put it if anybody's interested. And it might be something really that Sabine would be most interested in, but I'll put it up as a thing for people to read here in a moment. So low advance, divine. Your time in the secret chambers of the Infinite Library have forged a link between you and the divine texts held in the stacks. You may make a donation of a suitably rare text or artifact to the Infinite Library in exchange for a single use of a medium advance in any of the New Gods or Midwife or Lejeune sets. Each time you use this ability, you must select a new advance to emulate. So it's if you donate something, you get a one-shot on a medium, which is kind of cool. But that is an option for a low that you could take. Otherwise, you have the lows that are open for your playbook. And since we have a little time, I wouldn't mind a Stars and Wishes, but I have to admit, my allergies and my talking have made me have to blow my nose. So if y'all would like to chat for like 2 minutes, I'll be right back.
Quite all right.
Oh, that sounds rough.
Yeah.
Oh, we
No,
can
we
ever
haven't
fill this
started
time. I've
Oh,
already decided
yeah.
on my
yeah.
phones.
I'm still looking at mine.
I think I'm going to go for the Citizen's Mask. When you need to become one of the crowd, gain the sneak skill. When you wear the Citizen's Mask, you roll with mastery when you're attempting to pass yourself as someone unimportant or beneath the attention of your target.
I am taking braggadocio. I am an accomplished liar, and especially when it comes to exaggerating my own abilities. I gain a deceive skill, and once per session, I automatically convince an NPC that I can achieve something. Whether or not I'm able to do it is immaterial.
Ooh. I just realized I also will get a knack in sneak. Well, taking the Citizen's Mask.
Nice.
Nice. I'm probably just going to take Golden Tongue and call it a day.
What does that do?
I can spend a silver to speak any language I want for the next situation.
Nice. Is
Looking
this silver
over
strats or
advances.
you? Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, we're just talking about the low advances that interest.
So you spend a stress and you get that? Ooh, that's neat.
It was something that was very, very nearly on my list when creating this character, but then I was like, the other stuff.
Yes, I know that feeling. Like, oh, that one is more important. So,
Yep.
Worth noting, with that deific exchange, it's Appendix 1 that has all the new gods and all their stuff in it, which I think is main. As far as I will tell you, not just think, I'll say for sure. It's 183 in the Spire book is the start of that appendix, and there's an ass load of new gods in there, including the masked god.
Okay. What page was that?
183 starts the appendix there. And the masked god is one amongst the many. There's some really, it was interesting. I went and kind of read some of what Brant said about the game, and he said he wanted a game where basically everyone is a cleric. And in a lot of ways, that's what this is. The only two he kind of goes aren't exactly that. Is the inksmith is more like a wizard, and the knight is a knight. It's a fighter.
yeah.
But like the Azurites are merchants that follow a god in a way. That there's all of these have a certain deific element to them.
Oh, but the knights have their own saint as well. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, or do I take gold blooded, you guys?
Yes. Take the one that most interests and excites you.
I mean, we're all so good. with gold-blooded, I gain religion as a domain, and once per situation, I can allot stress to silver when it would normally be allotted to blood, or vice versa.
Pretty
That's
easy.
nice.
I think I'll stick with my golden time choice, though.
We'll look at the beginning when we start next time. We'll look at folks being able to relieve some stress, do some things to get rid of whatever stress they have. For the most part, y'all aren't really hurting on stress, but I think we've seen how quickly it can become a problem. So, and on these lower levels, it's pretty easy to relieve. And we will, find out what we got for low advances. And I think all of next session will be interpersonal and finding out what y'all do when you're not on missions. It's going to be that sort of session. So why don't we do a little stars of wishes? I think I did intros left to right. So why don't we do stars coming up for the right, and then we'll come back down with wishes. So Jen, why don't you lead us off with some stars?
I enjoyed Thurza sweeping in and being sort of plainly more clever than Sorden. That was just a fun moment. I liked that Sorden got to have a good duel moment, and we all kind of found reasons to not directly engage with Blaze, and how that fight worked out. That was very cool. It was a very cinematic moment. It felt very heated and actiony. I liked Gerald's. Oh yeah, of course we have willpower. We're not gonna go directly into the mask cave with the talking mask gods. That's, yeah, of course we're smart. I liked how everybody gave a secret to Creed and got to stick around. He did after this adventure. I like Gerald's surprising dedication to not killing a drow, even if it's exceedingly handy to do so. I liked seeing Aramis sort of flex his social, not station per se, but position and strength. Yeah, no, this was a good session with I think a balanced array of encounters.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you very, very much. Next up then would be you, Rich.
I'll just second Jen's star for Zordon being a badass and seeing a cool duel from the duelist and how handily he took down Blaze when he actually had a sword. That was pretty sweet. I quite enjoyed that kind of action sequence. And then Blaze's reaction where she pivoted from you're just a thug and a scumbucket, they're all going to get you, to wait, you're a duelist? Oh, well then my honor's intact, so I'll be honorable now. Like, watching that flip was just so funny. It was like a perfect bully reaction, just great. Like, so on point for this Blaze character. You have a solid handle on the NPC. I liked the duality of, first of all, it was unexpected that Aramis saying, yeah, she's going to stay at the church. And then Aramis saying, no, seriously, I wasn't a lie. Like, she's going to stay at the church. And I just fully expected Gerald Fernar and Zordon, like, not buying it. But you guys either bought it or, like, were going to entertain the idea until it became problematic. And that was good. But we're not all like goody two shoes kind of thing, because Gerald's being sneaky and lying about it to the group. So that was a thing. So I like that. I like both of those. It isn't like we're some kind of like D&D group that are drow. It's we're going to push the limits of things. We're not blind followers of the ministry. And I think there's an interesting, and this is a star for Tyler and for us. This we're setting up a little bit of like, we know the ministry will burn us kind of deal. And we're a tight little cell who's still doing good work for the ministry. So they shouldn't burn us yet. It isn't logical yet. And there's some tension there that I quite enjoy. And I also star to our boss, Minister Marikith or Makarith, kind of like showing her hand that there's some factions going on within the ministry, and there's a little bit of like, we're here, bump the homeland because they haven't sent an army to us. Like, there's a lot of splinters that are just held together very, very tenuously, and all of that is just like a powder keg. I love it. So lots of stars. Oh, and Fanara always like Jen, just throwing out like archaic or interesting words or turns of phrase. Love it. Don't stop ever. It's so great.
Was that about the Realia comment?
Oh, wait, more than that. Like, I don't, Jen, I think it's you kind of normally, but you're like filtering it through Fanara more. But yeah, you drop out some like really interesting turns. Oh yes, well this runs in that one. I can't even remember what the phrase was, but it was like, oh, that's neat. I've never heard that little bon mot. It's cool.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Next up, I believe is you, Alex.
Yeah, well, I'll third the fight. I really enjoyed the kind of sudden camaraderie of duelists that just like it shifted into, and it was nice having Jan being able to have like that moment, like and like yeah. I like that we're starting to develop like kind of a dynamic between the characters, each character, not just like, oh, this is what our bonds say, but there's more personality to that and depth to those kind of. Because I really enjoyed having like Fanara and Gerald being able to have now that the people who are either maybe a little bit too idealist or erratic are out of the room, we can discuss this, and if we have to go,
And
a certain
then
way we can go, but
yeah, and then we were both kind of two minds about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, I liked that. Yeah, that Amaritz he's got this little strength. It's like I feel like he's the one who would have really pushed against if we had to do something darker. To the point where I felt like I had to get him out of the room just to discuss the thing. Well, I like that kind of little bit of tension as well, like you, Rich, you mentioned the kind of we're not all just of one mind. I liked it, Tyler, that you got a little bit of what's the Bean's character's name? Vizier, Zar, kind of stuff. Just as we were leaving the library, just a little touch. It was nice.
Wish she'd been here.
And Creed, I liked the change once he'd got the secrets. How green was like suddenly like way more
I
not intimidating, but it wasn't Prince Jesse, which I really loved as well. But that change was very noticeable. And like,
cool. I'm glad that read. I wanted him to be more complex because y'all made him more complex.
that was one last little thing with the minister was just so Zordon has nothing. Was I like the fact that I wasn't sure if she was like, yeah, there's like factions within the ministry, or if she was like, well, I sense they're a little bit reticent, so I'm just gonna charm them a bit. They're like, I want your side, I want you against them. Ugh. They want to do dark things, but no, not me. We're at the same time still being kind of scary.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much. Jan.
I mean, everyone snapped everything, so. But yeah, I will just repeat the things that I feel strongly about. I really liked that Sorin got an opportunity to show off that he actually was good at fighting. I really, Jen, thank you for the Realia like, oh, hey, that's a thing. Okay, right.
Realia is an interesting subject if you're a library nerd. Lots of libraries have collections of things that aren't books and aren't magazines.
And could be weapons.
And could be weapons. But the last time I looked into the subject of Realia when I worked for a library, the most common Realia item in a library's collection nationwide across the United States was samples of human hair.
I was betting that's what it was. I almost was positive that's what it was.
I can't remember why.
Maybe.
Yep. I bet it has to do with locks given as keepsakes. And then, of course, there's all that hair art that was such a thing in the Victorian era. Oh, did you not know? Go online and look up hair art. It is fascinating and unbelievably intricately gorgeous. But freaky weird.
The Victorians, man. Just what is wrong with them?
Right. So, especially Gerald this session, but like I've noticed this from everyone. Really nice how they they know how to influence Sordin and just go like, yeah, but Sordin, there's gonna be if we tell you this, you're gonna go along with it, yeah, right? Okay. Which is really nice. I also enjoyed then so sometimes coming up with like an insight where it's like, oh hey, okay, I guess he's not just completely an airhead. And yeah, I really enjoyed Aramit's offer of sanctuary. I think that will give some interesting play in the future. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I want to say just kind of stars I saw some highlight things. I want to say, Alex, I appreciated you leaning into where I was going with the mask set. I think this adventure had the God of Masks. I said, oh crap, I want to play with it some. And so I expanded what they had in it. I really am happy you leaned into it because I think that's fascinating, and I like expanding all the gods of Spire. I think that's going to be fun and interesting to see. So thank you for doing that. Rich, I really like Aramits, as in we have a group of folks that, we're early days, so we're still feeling out all these characters, but Aramits is a nice person. So I like him as a person, and I'm interested to see how that's going to go up against darker problems that y'all have to face. I'm interested to see how that's going to rub against and influence the rest of the party. I just think there's something really nice about having a character with a heart in a situation where that is distinctive and can be a problem. I think that's going to be fun. Not to say I think the other characters are bad people. I just think that there's something that's going to rub up against problems occasionally. I think that's going to be fun to play with. Of course, I'm glad we got a good fight in. I wanted to see another fight, so we didn't have that horrible taste in our mouth from that word elemental, where the dice crushed us, and it was just not a great moment. I think we saw Sordon be awesome, but I really think I enjoyed most your conversation, like your conversation with Blaze more than your fighting with Blaze.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the idea of you were willing to trust her, because I feel like Sordon recognizes, okay, she's a mercenary, she's a fighter, she's like me. She's doing this for a reason. The reason's been handled. I can trust what she's saying, and I liked that. I think that was cool and reasonable and neat. So, and then conversation all through the rest of it. There were a lot of good moments out of Sordon throughout it. I really appreciate Jen and Rich as well, how y'all dealt with Creed. Jen, you really were very good about making him a person, involving him, talking with him. And then Rich, you making the suggestion we all give a secret. Melding that together was wonderful. It wasn't something I had thought of. I had already kind of imagined he gives the secret, we see him, and we have a sad moment of him going away. And then y'all solve that, and I like that there's the bond thing to have it be there. But watching the two of you deal with him and make him more and more of a person, and I tried to play with the fact of him growing because of your influence. So that was really nice. I really appreciated y'all doing that. So those are my stars. Coming back the other way, wishes, Jan.
Well, I mean, my only wish is going to be like I'd love to see some day in the life of, but you already said that we're going to do that next session. So I mean, no wishes then.
Cool. Alex, anything you want to see or highlight for next time?
I think I want to have a little bit of Gerald Aramit's one-on-one in some situation. I haven't got a specific idea of what that would be, but I just feel like I've now got to have some really nice moments with all the other characters, like from this session and the previous one, but I don't feel I've quite had that with Aramit's yet, so it's something I would like. Hopefully, I would like to be in a position where I can't avoid having to do something a bit shady with Aramit's being in being.
Awesome. Cool. Rich, things you'd like to highlight or do next time?
Before I go there, I forgot a star. Alex, I love the fact that you knew the secret you wanted to give and that you gave it in front of the table. That was really cool and bold, and it was
I had to
such
make a secret up on the spot.
well. You knew it,
Yeah.
and it was great because I feel like it informed the rest of the session, and it gave me a really interesting insight into Gerald. So anyway, wishes or highlights for next. More picks. I realized this session, you guys threw out a name that I still hadn't committed to memory, which was the bodyguard for Fanara. Crap.
Felicet?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'll go to NPCs. I don't see that name anywhere, so I had to bounce back to characters and then find it as Goliseth the bodyguard. So yeah, more pictures. I mean, granted there aren't a whole lot of awesome drow pictures. I hear you, but I'd love to see what Goliseth looks like. You know, even if somebody other than like, I think Tyler, you've done a great job of communicating their personality, but I still want a picture. And then I'll quickly steal the easiest of all. Hope Sabine is able to make it. It was a real missed opportunity for the wish that Sabina put out there. You were ready to fulfill it. Now we'll come up with other reasons for the meeting up, but it was a great. I was excited for it this session, and when Sabine messaged that they weren't going to be able to make it, I'm like, oh, bummer. So, that's it. That's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And Jen, wishes, things you'd like to see?
I think I'd like to see a little bit more of the city itself. And sort of, I think we're going to get a lot of that next session since we're seeing into everybody's day-to-day lives. Just to see how we ordinarily fit into the city and what it's like. But this was a cool session, and my eyes are basically just open and ready to take in the light, and whatever that light may be.
Awesome. Thank you very much. My wishes is, yeah, I do want to bring Spire to life. Let us see more of it and let everybody have chances to do cool shit, to see more and more of what they're like. As I said, I don't want us mission to mission. I really want us to live inside these characters. So thank you all for playing. It was an absolute blast from my end. And I'll turn it back over to you, Rich.
Thank you so much, Tyler. And next week we will be continuing the foray into the Spire, getting to know the city a bit more, perhaps. Some more downtime scenes. It's going to be really exciting to get to know all these interesting characters when they're not just on mission. Thank you so much, Tyler, for running it. And thanks everybody for playing and watching. We'll see you guys in a week.